What's up, my beautiful people? How you doing? Welcome back. Episode 27 of the Where's My Hat podcast.
Welcome.
Where's your enthusiasm? This is exciting.
Dude.
This is so cool. We're doing this thing.
It is cool.
And we're just sitting here and we're going to make a podcast.
Yeah.
And you're going to bring your wonderful insights.
Oh, I have something I need to talk to you about.
Oh, what's that?
Are you sitting down?
You can see that I am, yes.
Okay, good. I gotta ask you a question.
Okay.
Alright. I'm very grateful for you and everything that you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I have to ask, why did you end up buying dip with no chips?
I think I did buy chips. They just got eaten all by Dean, as you say. Our son he was 2, ate all of them, right?
Our tortilla chips?
Yeah.
No, they've been gone for a long time. But when you bought dip recently,
I thought you blamed him for eating them all.
You didn't buy any chips to go with the dip, which I don't mind spooning dip.
Yeah, just eat it with a spoon.
I could eat it with a spoon.
There's crackers. What kind of dip is it?
That's what I'm confused about. You bought a bunch of crackers to go with certain dips.
Oh, I get it.
But you didn't buy any
You
chips.
can't eat the dips with crackers like what they're meant for.
The layered dip, the bean dip, is meant to be eaten with...
That's true. I did think I got that for you, and I thought we had chips. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
And also, the other one is more for me because I didn't think you liked the buffalo chicken dip.
That's true.
And that one's great with crackers. If you guys have a problem, leave it in the comments because buffalo chicken dip is amazing with Ritz crackers, or you could use the club crackers. But this time, at a friend's house, I had some of the pita chips. I think they're the Toll House brand ones. Oh my god, Mediterranean flavor.
Those are pretty good. They are really good.
Yeah.
Dean
likes them.
As diverse as you picked out your dips, I was just hoping you would pick out a diverse set of chips.
Diverse? What does that mean?
Like tortilla chips, pita chips,
I got pita chips. I
did see those
crackers.
pita chips. And I saw you picked out a diverse display of crackers. You got Clubhouse, Toll House.
It's literally two. There was pita crackers and then regular club crackers. The little rectangle ones.
Yeah.
That's
Did not
all
get
I got.
chicken and a biscuit.
And we already have Ritz. I didn't buy those again.
Ritz.
Chicken and a biscuit, but for a dip, then you have to be careful what you dip that in. It's going to taste weird.
That's true. It's not a plain cracker. It's a very distinct flavor.
Yeah. I wouldn't get dip for that. I would just eat those like how they are.
Yeah. You can eat them with cheese. They're really good with cheese. Like a good American or Munster or something like that.
There's Munster and there's Havarti in the fridge. People at home.
That's true. There's
cheese in the fridge.
There's those cheeses, but no chicken and
maybe you're not
biscuit
at
crackers.
Home. Maybe you're not at home, actually. My bad.
But I'll still eat the chips, or the lack of chips, but the crackers and the dip, don't get me wrong, and I'm very appreciative that you went to the store and got these things.
You said you're going to eat the lack of chips. I don't even know
what
that means. But
I'm just going to eat the dip with the spoon instead of,
Why don't you just buy chips?
You're right.
You can get them at the gas station, not even a mile away, or there's a dollar store right there, or you could just go to Kroger on, one of your, any day Really, anytime.
Nah. I'm just gonna eat them with a spoon. Because nobody needs chips, you know?
Okay, that's fine.
Hence
then.
why you
So
didn't get chips.
you were asking me why I didn't get chips.
You know, you answered the
question. But you're actually saying that you don't even want them in the first place. So that's tricky.
I'll deal with it. It's
Why are
not
you
a big
being so
deal.
Tricky?
It's not a big deal. I was just curious. That was something that was on my mind earlier.
Wow.
I appreciate it, though. I want to stress that point. Like, I really appreciate you going to the store and buying groceries, and there's a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. So, that I really appreciate. And I appreciate you even getting a dip for me that you don't necessarily like.
I like it. I just, chips are unhealthy, and I'm trying to just get on this new healthy diet for everybody.
That's a really good question. Now that I think about it, is what is more healthier, chips or crackers?
More healthy? Like, I would say neither one are healthy. I was just kidding about the health thing. I thought you were going to get
No, but
upset.
you bring up a good question. Like, what is healthier, tortilla chips and potato chips?
Not potato. Those are two totally different. Like, tortilla chips are definitely healthier for you than crackers or potato chips.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
You think
Because
tortilla
they're made
chips are more healthier than crackers?
Yeah, for sure.
What makes you think that?
I would be willing to bet. I'm pretty sure they are. Like your standard tortilla chips. Yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
But they're made out of corn.
Yeah,
corn's like the worst for you.
Corn's not the worst for you. Why is it the worst for you? It's just corn. That's why it's better for you, because it's not like flour.
Okay.
Because I think like all
corn
the other
flour
stuff
is better than wheat flour.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know.
I mean, somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, if there's any health nuts who can tell me about which carb is better, please let me know.
I have the internet though. I just don't want to look it up right now.
I don't.
Boring.
Yeah, I appreciate the word of mouth. I just miss communication. You know what I mean? I just miss talking to people. So if you could tell me on anything what's better, wheat or corn, let me know.
Like calorie wise?
Calorie wise, carb wise, whatever.
Okay. Well, glad we got that settled.
I'm glad we got that settled. I will get some tortilla chips here soon.
Sweet.
For salsa. Oh, we have so much salsa in the fridge too.
Hell yeah.
I completely forgot about that. We have like 3 jars of salsa in the fridge.
Oh, I didn't know that. I bet the people listening are super thrilled to hear about how many types of salsa we have. And the dips in my fridge right now. I'm
gonna try it with crackers and see how I like it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You go, girl.
Thank you.
Or sorry, or you want me to? You identify as a girl, right? A woman.
I identify as a human being.
I know. Me too.
Are you asking me what my pronouns are?
Yeah.
My pronouns are she, her. What are your pronouns?
They, them.
Is it really they, them?
Yeah.
I will always think of that now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's he, him. But,
is it he, him?
But I don't know, depending on...
Dude, your aura is so huge, dude. There is like multiple of you. So I could see a they, them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like there could be us. I want to be referred to as us.
You want to be referred to as us?
Yeah.
Are you going to always talk...
I have multiple personalities.
Are you going to talk about yourself in the third person from here on out?
No, but that might be fun. I don't know.
That would be fun.
Talk about communicating with real people. The real people I communicate with would be so freaked out that, I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make light of a serious topic. Well, I am a little bit, but only because it's a fun topic. It's a new topic, so it's fun to talk about because it's something I have not explored. The
transgender episode of South Park where Cartman gets his own bathroom is so funny, man.
I will say, like, South Park and Always Sunny in Philadelphia are, like, my comfort shows. Like, I will rewatch and binge watch those shows if I'm, like, down or whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely both really good. Both very un-PC, I guess. But not really, in a way. They're like, especially South Park's like a parody of society, a satire of... But they bring up good points, even though it's ridiculous and, like, silly and mean sometimes. It's awesome. It's an awesome show. And
yeah, I love South Park.
everyone should watch it if you don't already. Anyway, yeah. Let's see. What else? Comedy? You want to keep this a comedy podcast about comics? We should get more, like I want to go back
to talking about crackers.
We've had a lot of comics. Yeah, well, I don't. Okay.
Joe Biden's a cracker. What do you think about him?
Is he still alive? That's crazy.
As far as I know, I haven't delved into the conspiracy theories about where his actual body is, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like our president shits his pants, but I'm not sure.
He might. It's crazy you bring that up. Our last president has a gentleman who... There's a makeup artist that worked on... What was that show that he was on? Not The Biggest Loser. Where he's always like, "You're fired."
Oh. Yeah.
Big Boss.
What is that called?
I swear to God, I just want to call it The Biggest Loser. But it's not that.
No, it's called, I don't know.
But anyways,
everyone knows what you're talking about. They're probably going nuts right now.
One of the makeup artists has come out and said multiple times that Trump was notorious for being on like Adderall and benzos at the same time, and he would just shit his pants in the middle of talking, and then he would have to change his pants mid-set.
That's kind of awesome, though.
It's all...
That's like rock and roll.
Is that rock and roll? Yeah, that is
so.
true. If you like, you can look at a man in the eye and shit your pants at the same time, and it's not out of fear.
And it's all because you're doing a ton of drugs. So I guess, yeah, kind of.
That's confidence right there. That's like peeing on somebody while making eye contact. Have you ever peed on anybody?
I think so.
On accident or on purpose?
Like in the shower.
In the shower?
Yeah. I've probably peed on somebody in like a community shower before. Because, the warm water, you don't know that someone's pissing on you, and it's funny.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I think it was actually on you, to be honest. I think I did that once.
You peed on me?
I think so. I think, no, you would know about it. Like, I didn't hide it from you.
Was I... Okay.
I'm trying to find what the name of that show is now, because I can't, like... It's hard to continue.
Okay. You think about that, and I'm going to think about another topic.
It's just... There's a show called The Trump Show, but that's not it. God damn it.
What network is that on? I'm curious. Anyways, I was thinking about... Oh, Cryptids. I was thinking...
Cryptids, what's that?
Cryptids? You don't know what cryptids are?
That's why I asked, what is that? But I know what they are, but I want the people that listening to this to know what they are, too. Just in case.
So you know what cryptids are.
Yeah, they're like... Aren't they... I think, anyway. They're like monsters... Basically, like, genetically mutated creatures that possibly exist, but there's no, like, proof for them, or we don't have any evidence yet.
If evolution is real, aren't we all genetically mutated somehow?
Is that what a cryptid is?
Evolution?
No. You just asked if I knew what a cryptid was, and I was asking you to describe it.
Well, I wanted to know if you knew, and a cryptid...
I tried my best to convey what I think it is, but I'm not doing a good job.
I just didn't know if...
Because I'm trying to find this show with Trump right now.
I could give a shit less about the Trump show. Well, can we look at it later?
Yeah.
While we have a conversation between the two of us?
Sure.
Okay, cool. No, I was thinking... cryptids... What cryptids are like mythical beasts and or animals that we don't know if they're real or not. So like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, the Yeti, Mothman,
Yeah.
Slender Man, those things where people think they might or may not be real.
I think they have to be like an animal, though. I think Slender Man is more of like a... I don't even know.
I count that as a cryptid.
Maybe it is.
I also count fairies and...
Yeah, I think that counts.
Giants.
Gnomes.
Elves. Gnomes. Trolls.
Elves? Are there... But that's... I don't know if an elf counts.
I count it. Vampires. I think those could be considered cryptids.
Yeah, maybe a vampire.
Do we think elves are fake? Because Iceland believes elves are real.
I don't know.
I
I think of them like
11%.
Lord of the Rings elves. It's like another... Almost like another race. Like another type of people. So I don't think... That's why I thought they weren't really cryptids. I guess technically vampires would be, but they're like... Not... Like they have to feed off of blood from other humans, so in a way I think they're like monsters or something. I don't know.
Right, it's like Frankenstein. They're the universal monsters type deal. Frankenstein, the Invisible Man,
But
werewolf.
yeah, cryptids though, I mean...
But cryptids are like Bigfoot, Yeti.
You would just think there would be more like real evidence of them with everyone having a phone and stuff. I guess there are videos that you can find that, like, I watch a lot of compilations of scary videos, and there's often things like that. It's hard to tell if something's real or not, though.
That's true.
Even with videos, you're like, I have proof, and then everyone's like, yeah, it's fake. Fake news.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to get Harvey to meow on camera.
Yeah, Harvey's our cat.
Yeah, so, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think these cryptids are real? I'll start off with the big one.
I don't know. I think like
Do you think they're all fake?
not all of them. That's the thing. That's what I was going to say is like, I think maybe like there's some kind of creatures out there that are staying hidden from us, maybe, that we catch a glimpse of that are like smart enough to, like, who knows? I mean, I think it's like a 50-50 shot that there's like at least one or two.
Do you think aliens are a cryptid?
No, that's aliens. It's like its own thing to me,
Oh.
I would say.
Yeah, it's like an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, because they're
Cryptid.
not even from, like, cryptids are like, they live here on Earth, and they're from Earth, I think. I don't know. There's not an official, probably, definition. It's like kind of a...
So I don't think the Mothman is real. Like, I feel like that's fake. I feel like somebody was, like, flapping their wings or something like that, and someone took it the wrong way. Because it's...
Someone was flapping their wings. They have wings.
Yeah, you know,
So then-
they were in, like, a bird suit. They were
Oh.
trying to be Harvey Birdman or something like that, and then someone took it the wrong way. And then ever since then, it's been sensationalized and then turned into some mythical being. But Bigfoot, I don't know. I that one's a harder one for me because Bigfoot has a lot of forest to move around in. But I think that's also a less likely option to be real for that.
I feel like
'Cause
if Bigfoot's real, like, yeah, someone would have seen him for sure, I think. Like, I mean, I guess, yeah, you can live in the woods, but, like, people go in the woods and there's cameras and satellite imaging and stuff. I think they would have found Bigfoot by now. And then also, like, how many years has it been since they first started talking about Bigfoot? Like, he would have probably died by now, right? And then there'd have to be something so he can, like, procreate. So is there, like, a whole family of these things, and then they just fuck each other and make more Sasquatches?
Yeah, it'd be its own
Because-
species. It could possibly be its
So how
own
many-
hominid.
My point is, there'd be so many of them then to keep procreating and not
Right.
have birth defects from inbreeding. So, like, to me, that's like the chances of there being real Sasquatches is like I don't know. I just think it's pretty slim chance.
Well, if they live in like the mountains and stuff, like let's say they live in Alaska, there's
To
a
be,
lot of Alaska that has been untouched.
I thought they were supposed to live like in, I don't know, like Oregon.
Yeah, they live in like Washington, Oregon. There's been spottings all up in the North America, but there's also spottings or sightings in Canada and all different types of places.
Maybe Canada knows something we don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, they're supposed to be like, according to Finding Bigfoot, which was on the Animal Planet for the longest time, they're their own hominid, so they could be intelligent, and they've just been hiding because they're not as intelligent as Homo sapiens. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know what they're trying to say, like almost like Neanderthal or like another like a species of human,
Right.
not a Homo sapien, but a different, like the missing link.
Yeah.
And like
the Yeti is supposed to possibly be like the cousin of Bigfoot, but it lives in the Himalayas.
Yeah, and that's another one no one's seen. That one, at least, it's in like such a snowy area that would be hard for people to really explore. But then again, though, like seriously, like I feel like they can take pictures of anywhere on the Earth and use like thermal cameras and stuff, and I'm sure they have pretty much everywhere. Or maybe the government has seen stuff like that and just doesn't release it to the public. I don't know. That is it. It's like maybe not.
Yeah, that's possible.
People do just come up with cool shit too, and then it's like we make really good stories, and then people like want to believe, like Dracula. People just want to believe that it's real.
What about the chupacabra? Do you believe in that?
I don't. It's like a Mexican, not a werewolf, but like I don't even know what it is exactly. It's a little monster.
I wouldn't say it's particularly Mexican. It could be just.
I thought it was like a Mexican. Like I thought that's where it originated.
I mean, it's all over in South and Central America. It's not specifically just Mexico.
I just thought that was where it originated from. I don't know. I could be wrong because I don't know that much about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's so there's a lot of livestock that ends up dying in Central and South America, and the way they die, they have like 2-prong like holes somewhere in their body, and their blood is completely drained.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So people say it's because of the chupacabra.
Sweet.
And I don't know. I couldn't tell you on that one. I know there's a lot of vivacious wildlife in those parts of the world, so it's possible. I think we've only discovered like 20% of the different species in the Amazon rainforest.
I don't know.
So it's very possible.
No idea.
Yeah, the Amazon rainforest is like not as well documented as like everywhere else in the world. And what's another one? Oh, Loch Ness Monster. I think the Loch Ness Monster is fake as fuck.
They've actually looked for that with sonar.
Right.
I think they would have found it because it's not in that big of an area.
Right. It's in Loch Ness.
Yeah.
So I would think if that was real, they would have found it by now.
And I think the famous photo one has it's like a black and white photo that you can see like its neck sticking out of the water. I think they proved that was fake too.
Right.
But yeah. I don't know. What about like ghosts? That's what I think about that. I watch a lot of ghost videos and stuff. If like all the spirits are real or not. I guess we've kind of talked about that on the podcast before, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, it seems like if their ghosts were real, there'd be so many of them, but maybe only certain spirits actually are stuck here, and they're on like another plane of reality, or temporarily, who knows? Or maybe it's only if you've died in a bad way. Hauntings, but it always cracks me up, like the amount of. There's got to be so many fake videos out there, and it's hard to tell if anything's real with those, but. Yeah, like hauntings though, ghosts it seems like they never like actually they can't really do anything. They can just like move something off of the shelf and make it fall on the ground, or open your silverware drawer, or like shut a door.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean,
and people are, it's like, why are you so scared of that?
you know, I think it really what it is, like with ghosts and stuff like that, like I honestly believe what ends up happening is you get scared, someone gets scared of their surroundings, and then they're super aware of what's going on around them, and as a result, your brain is trying to make sense of why you're afraid, and because of that, we have a tendency to be like, oh, that was a ghost. The reason why that happened was because of some ghostly situation or paranormal situation. When really, it really was nothing. It was just your brain trying to make sense of as to why that would happen. Because you're too afraid to try and figure it out. Because that's happened to me where I'm like, oh, it's a ghost. But really, it's just a crumbling foundation or the heat turned on or something like that.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of videos of people that go into like these abandoned places, you know, and then they'll be like, did you hear that? And they'll hear something. And I think like half the time it's just a homeless person or a squatter that's in the building that they broke into, basically, to like search around with their camera.
That's what scares me more, is like going into one of these abandoned buildings and then finding like a homeless person or somebody who could have a weapon to try to attack me because I'm in their space. That's more frightening than like an actual ghost or something paranormal.
Yeah, that is creepy. Or like, it's always funny too, like the ghost hunter shows that it's like if you really want to see something, you'll end up finding it, you know?
Right.
They have all this equipment and they're like, see, I'm getting a reading or whatever, and then
right, there's like a confirmation bias on that.
And then they boost the signal a bunch. It kind of sounds like someone's whispering something, and then it's like, this is proof.
Or
and, then,
like,
and if you do think the place is haunted, and you know what they're like, yeah, they're talking to like a certain ghost. Like,
yeah, and
it's
then
Emily.
even then, it's just like they'll be like, oh, look at that. There's ghosts in the area, and there's like orbs, but it's just like it could be dust, like reflective dust,
or even
sort.
like another ghost. What if it's a ghost that you're not looking for that's just messing with you? Like they don't care.
I don't know.
Like, oh, it's Emily. It's the ghost of Emily. But they're like a million. Like, meanwhile, hundreds of people have died, you know, everywhere. So it could be like anything. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I like kind of almost like want to believe that it's real sometimes. Like, there might be a few real like sightings of things like that we don't understand, you know, not from this realm or this world, or like spirits, I guess, that can make themselves known.
Well, and then that goes back into what we were talking about the other day, where it's very possible that there are spirits or ghosts or whatever, but we just can't see or understand it. Just like, what is it, 20,000, 30,000 years ago, most people couldn't even see the color blue. Like, we're just not able to have those proper senses to determine what's going on around us.
Well, yeah. I think if they are real, like eventually we could probably get something that can actually just see them, like just like ghost vision, like Ghostbusters style, you know?
Right.
They, like, put on some lenses and then it can like detect whatever, kind of like how there's, you know, there's frequencies we can't see, like you can't see the Wi-Fi,
right?
But it's
like,
there.
Come maybe 20, 30 years from now, we'll either evolve to be able to see those things, or there'll be technology to be able to see those things.
I think we evolved to not see all, like, because if we could see every single thing like that, you know, all the different like waves in the air and stuff, we wouldn't be able to see anything because it'd be too distracting. It'd be all in our face all the time. Yeah, like ghosts, definitely, they could be on a different, like,
visible wavelength. Visible wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
or their reality can like intersect with ours somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's crazy. But a lot of people have a ghost experience that is very real to them, and I've never had one.
You've never had a real ghost experience?
No.
Do you want one?
Not that I can. Yeah, like I wouldn't. If they're real, I would like. It'd be cool to know.
So you believe in ghosts?
I said if they're real. Like I'm open to the idea of it. I just haven't personally really felt like. I feel like maybe like when you go into like when you fall asleep and you're about to dream, and you go into a subconscious state kind of, and you like feel like you're somewhere else sometimes. Maybe there's some connection to that and like the after death and the spirit world and stuff, or maybe you just are just like kind of hallucinating that. I don't know.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No, my brother has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking to your brother. I'm talking to you.
I'm just saying for him, he said it was pretty crazy. Like he was describing it to me.
Mm. Yeah, the descriptions of...
And yeah, it was just like, but it was the same.
No, I wasn't talking at all. Go ahead.
You did ask me a question.
I did ask you a question. You said no, and so I wanted to move on.
I didn't say no.
You said no, you didn't have sleep paralysis.
But my brother, so all I was trying to say...
Yeah, I don't care about your brother. I'm trying to talk to you.
All I was trying to say is that all I'm trying to say is his experience is the same as all the ones you read online of people's sleep paralysis. They always have like a shadowy figure standing over the corner of the bed or in the corner of the room.
Right.
And they can't move. And it's like a really frightening thing, but it's weird that everybody has a similar like situation happen to them.
Right.
Now you can talk. I'm just kidding. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's it. That's all I had.
Oh, it seemed like you wanted to say something.
No.
Okay. Cool. Have you?
I have had sleep paralysis. I've talked about it on the pod before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to bring it up now.
Yeah, but your brother's experience is a better interpretation of what I personally had, so I'll just leave it at that.
Did you have the same one?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, where you see like a shadow figure. I wonder what that's all about.
Like you said, it's like the same thing you read online.
It is crazy that it's the same for everyone, though.
Yeah.
Or it seems to be. That makes me wonder, too. Like, yeah, maybe there is some kind of... There's definitely deeper things than what's just than what we have discovered. So if you think about it, man, a lot of the stuff like a couple 100 years ago that we have now is... Like, if you told someone back then that there would be like a magical airwave that you can get information on, or even just FM radio or something, you know, people would be like, they wouldn't even believe you. And now all that stuff's real. So we've like figured it out. So who knows what else is out there to figure out. Does that make any sense?
No, that makes sense. That goes back to what I was saying before, is like we don't have instruments to be able to read things, so it's very possible that in the future we'll be able to actually see ghosts with instruments that are designed to be able to see those things, versus now where it's just speculation and supernatural.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like voice boxes or voice... I think it's a voice box, isn't it? But that's like...
Oh, a spirit box?
Spirit
the thing
box.
That they can talk, supposedly... I don't even know how that works.
That's like pseudoscience type thing. And there's no like technical way of being able to actually understand spirits and what they're saying and all that, because there's no... It's like documented, proven to work every time, and it's not like actually possible. Like... So yeah, anyways. But yeah, maybe in like 20 years down the road, AI might discover something and be able to give us the instruments needed to see the great beyond. Do you, speaking of AI, what do you think about Chat GPT and how AI is evolving currently?
What do I think about it?
Yeah, what's your opinion about it?
I think it's a pretty powerful tool that is like, I've used it quite a bit for different things. Like it can come up with like hashtags for an Instagram reel, or help you with really like coding. If you want to make a website, you can have it like write code and then copy and paste it into your website. You still have to arrange it a little bit and like do the human thing. But I think in like 5-10 years, it'll be replacing a lot of just jobs and different things. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of embracing it at this point, and I'm not really against it. I don't know if it'll ever like get to the point of being like the Matrix or like sentient completely, but
Or Skynet.
yeah, but I do think we'll have definitely like robots and that'll be self-aware and can think like a human.
Well, they have AI that beats video games effortlessly. Like, there's the AI that beats Tetris all the time, and chess, and...
Yeah, but I'm saying like an AI that you could just go to and like if you were just talking to it on the phone, you wouldn't even know it's an AI. It would be literally like another person. And then at that point, you're like, does it have rights? Is it less alive than a regular person? And it like knows itself and it's self-aware, you know?
I don't think we're going to get to the point to be like, oh, we should care about its rights.
Oh, are you kidding me?
We're not going to get to that point in my lifetime, I don't think. Because we're so afraid
maybe not
of it.
in our lifetime, but maybe.
No, I can't imagine. That being said,
like iRobot or any movie that has the Hollywood kind of like predicts some of the future sometimes.
Steven Spielberg's AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like that.
That was a crazy movie.
Because or like the robots in Blade Runner.
Right. Because it was like questioning, was Harrison Ford AI or not at the end?
I mean, I think we'll get to a point where you can upload your brain into a computer. Like instead of like being in your body, your brain would just be in a computer system, and then you could just put it in whatever you wanted at that point.
And that's very intimidating.
Because and then in the end, it's like, okay, so if you can do that, then how are you different than an AI? Like you've just because you're born biologically instead of like electronically, I guess.
Yeah, that's like a Black Mirror episode. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you come up with an idea, or if you come up with like, I'm not AI, I'm real, but then like AI takes over and be like, no, I'm this person. I am in fact real.
If they feel all the same things.
Yeah, and you're like in the web space, or you're in the internet per se, and some sort of virus takes over, and it's AI virus. And they take over your human body as a result. Oh, that would be insane.
They have like some pretty crazy stuff about that. There's some
like if you instead of having REM sleep, you have REM sleep, but you transport your consciousness into like or the World Wide Web, and then somehow you end up getting a virus, and then that virus eats you while you're in REM sleep, and that virus is AI, and then it takes over your body. That would be insane.
Well, that reminds me of there's a Doctor Who episode where like everybody has their cell phones are kind of like, which I think they're not that far from this either, where you can like, instead of having a phone, let's say you just have like a little microchip, and it's like, whatever, maybe it's implanted, maybe you can remove it or whatever, but it's stuck to you somewhere, and it basically makes it so you can just like, if you need to know something, you just like look it up in your normal thoughts. You're just like, okay, I need to know this, and then you activate it, and it searches the web or whatever service that it's on, cellular, whatever, and then you download like the Matrix style, like I need to know Kung Fu, and then you just know it, or like I need to know the recipe, and then it just like comes into your brain.
We would so de-evolve if that happened.
And
like
then
our bodies would not. Like,
but
our bodies would just turn into mush, and then, like, we'll just turn into, like, jellyfish, kind of, and our brains would be so dumb.
Well, I feel like, actually, though, it'd be kind of the opposite, because you would know, technically, almost everything.
Right.
Like, we'd all be, like, sharing our knowledge. And so you
unorganically, but also, organically, we'll end up
that was the rest
devolving.
Of this, is that I think people are also going to replace, like, your feet. Or your hands, like if you could just start replacing parts of your body, like cyberpunk,
right?
You can kind of get to.
Go ahead.
Oh, Kristen's left the room. But I think, I don't know, I feel like people will start kind of using cybernetic implants and things like that. And then, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying all that just to say that if you had that implant though, right? So like your cell phone's just in your head and you can just make calls and stuff, and maybe you can look at somebody and see like how old they are, and their name and stuff pops up on your screen, so to speak, just your vision. You can just see stuff. But I think like someone could hack that. That's what the Doctor Who episode was about. Yeah. Everybody just shut down.
That's one thing I wouldn't want to deal with being like an android, so to speak, is like the idea of like you have some sort of implant in your head where you have consciousness streamed into the World Wide Web, and then people can hack it and then be able to not only shut you down, but also make you like an Interpol spy or something like that, like a James Bond villain.
Yeah.
Like that's an insane idea. But I think if that happened after like so many generations, we will end up being like your body is organically impotent of doing anything as a result, because you're just using artificial intelligence and using man-made creations to be the thing that you need to use in order to do things. So like our muscle tissue will no longer be as easily trained and conditioned, and our bone structure will weaken and stuff like that. We'll just end up like jellyfish.
Yeah, I think, but if all that happened, I think honestly, like there might even already be aliens out there that it's like you basically stop aging and you can basically replace any part of your body with like a new one. You can put your brain into another computer or another thing that's more powerful than your body could have ever been. You can find ways to reproduce without having a regular birth. You could definitely like...
What would be the point of reproducing
I think a lot of people would definitely not agree with that, including me. It's like really kind of a fucked up dystopian future, but I feel like you could do that.
Again, what's the point of giving birth and having live organic material with consciousness if you can just come up with AI?
Yeah.
Like, what will be the point of it? Because if you can generate something that would be a 5-star athlete that is able to answer, like, the end of pi or something like that, why would you take a chance of using your own genetic material to be able to cultivate something that you wanted to raise that wasn't?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't.
Right.
And they also already are kind of doing stuff like that, where it's like, what color eyes do you want your child to have? They can like modify the DNA.
Oh,
they could just take some of your semen and just like make a whole, and some eggs and make like just, test tube babies. It's really fucked up and crazy though. But
you touched on aliens just a second ago. Do you believe in aliens?
I kind of think there's got to be other life forms out. I think Earth had the right conditions for life, and we can only see so far into the universe right now. So, I mean, who knows? If it's really as vast as, like, infinite, basically, then why would we be the only one? Just because we're all we're aware of right now doesn't mean. And it also, like, there's some crazy stuff about, videos and things of, like, UFOs and stuff that are pretty convincing and insane, but some of those aliens would probably have to be at a point though where they are like, because to travel that far even at light speed would take a really long time, wouldn't it? It depends on how far away they are, I guess. But those aliens might be using some of the technology we talked about, like
uploading their consciousness into some sort of organic material.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe using like remote control spacecraft even.
So you know what the Fermi paradox is? Am I saying that right? Fermi paradox?
Fermi or something? Fermi? Yeah.
I think it's Fermi. The Fermi paradox is that if there was life outside of Earth, we would have caught it by now because they would make so much noise and some sort of frequency that would be able to catch it. But, that being said, I find that paradox interesting because there are species on this planet that we don't understand their language, like whales and elephants and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track, but I also think.
So wait, let me
Sorry,
finish my point.
My bad.
My point with that is my thinking on that is if we don't understand those species and their languages, it's very possible that we don't have. Same with ghosts and supernatural. We don't have the proper instruments to be able to catch those frequencies that would be coming from intelligent life from other planets.
Maybe.
Yeah. What's your take on it?
I think I mean, just because we can't detect them doesn't mean anything, because they could be way more advanced than us and be able to hide from, like, they could be like looking at our technology like we're all using,
Right, like we're still using
Atari
nuclear bombs and shit while they're using, what was that element that gentleman said that they discovered recently? Oh man,
I don't know.
There was a guy that was on
idea.
a documentary, and he said that he worked on an alien spaceship before.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that too. That's
Element
always crazy.
115, but I can't remember the name of the guy who said that.
There's all these there's also stories of like pilots, military pilots who are like very intelligent people that wouldn't just make. Some of that stuff is pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, for
In
sure.
Area 51, all the different stories about that. But yeah. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, it's just stuff you can't really know for sure. You don't know the answer to. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, because our universe is way too big for us to be the only ones.
Yeah.
I just can't see
That's
that
what I think.
we are the only ones,
Yeah.
So yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I am, yeah. Yep. It's the end of the semester at PFW here in Fort Wayne, where I'm attending school. So have all these exams and crap coming up. I'm just kind of ready to be done. I still have
real
a
fast.
year or so left.
Real fast, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's called The Apprentice.
Oh yeah, The Apprentice.
All right,
That is what it's called.
Yeah. So school.
The Trump show is The Apprentice, everybody.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Hopefully you already typed angrily in the comments before that.
I'm just saying.
No, I appreciate it. I was wondering.
Yeah,
really
I know it was driving you nuts.
I forgot about it, but now I know. Very cool.
So, school's almost done.
Yep.
You've made some new friends this semester. Next
like
semester,
I'm 12 and I just
you
came home from school.
You make new
Make
friends
new
every
friends.
semester, and you end up like being in a band with them and stuff.
I try to use the networking at music school to do as many projects as I can, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good so far.
Good.
Since I play piano, there's a lot of people that need accompaniment for things like singing or trumpet recital that I just got done doing. It's kind of fun. It's good. It's just fun, like performing in front of people.
Good.
Yeah.
Bob Lazar is the guy that was talking about Element 115.
I think he was on Rogan, wasn't he?
He was on Rogan.
Yeah, I saw.
And he looks
I think
like,
I saw that.
He honestly looks like Stephen King a little bit, I think.
No, Stephen King's awesome.
Stephen King is awesome. On and off on coke.
I read Misery when
Did
I
you?
was younger. Yeah, it's a really crazy book. And I haven't even seen the movie after all these years. Like the whole thing. I've seen parts of it. But Kathy Bates, I know, is in there.
I read a series of short stories by him. I don't remember the name of the book.
Yeah, I've seen way more of the movies than the books.
Yeah, me too.
They're all really cool. I don't know why I like horror games and horror movies. Every Halloween we try to do like a horror movie month, kind of.
Who's we?
You and me. Like
Really?
last Halloween we watched like It Follows. We watched, I can't remember the name of some of them because we picked some pretty bad ones too.
Yeah.
It was like a Netflix original horror thing, you know? Like a couple of them were like that.
Remember when Comcast was a thing?
It still is.
I know, but do you remember when it was like a thing in your room, in your home?
Yeah, I think so. I never had Comcast actually.
You didn't? What'd you have?
It was something similar. It was like a cable internet, but it wasn't Comcast. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Because it was some weird company, Bloom. It was like Bloom 2.0.
Oh, okay.
But it was the same thing. It was like you have a cable modem, and the cable comes out of the wall, plugs into that, and then you have internet from that.
Because we had Comcast when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And like they would have like 30 Days of Horror every October.
Oh, you're talking about like the cable, like the TV. I was thinking
No.
internet.
Cable would have like on demand.
Yeah,
And
I
then you have
remember
like
that.
30 Days of Horror on demand.
I had a couple of friends who had it.
So every night when I was in high school, we'd go to my friend's house and we'd watch a new horror movie. Whether it was like a good horror movie or a bad one, we'd still end up watching it.
There's something about horror and like being, it's weird. I love Resident Evil and all those games, and I don't know. I'm like, well, I wonder why that is that people like horror. Because it's like, oh, on paper it sounds messed up.
I think it's the adrenaline rush while still being in the safety of your own home and or movie theater. Because there is like people do get a sense of being high off that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think.
See, and that kind of goes back to the cryptids and stuff. That's all I feel like horror. There's a lot of creepypastas and stuff and all these like horror videos. And
creepypastas I don't like because they seem so far-fetched.
Well, that's what Slender Man is. Like it's a creepypasta, or that's how like but that's how they do it. They go on the internet, right? And they'll make like the person's like, I'm going to make a story, and it's basically a horror movie, but instead of being presented like a movie, it's presented like actual facts that this person knows, or they're like, I have this evidence, these pictures. So some of it's like more just for fun. They're not like actually information. Like some people really believe it though. Some of it might be made by people that actually believe it, but I think a lot of it's just to make a cool story up, you know, because there's ARGs, augmented or alternate reality games. And some of those are really cool on YouTube, or have a really weird cryptic channel that has videos that have like hidden meanings that you can like decipher that leads you to another website, and but really none of it's real, but they set it up as if it's real to make it fun.
Oh, what was the last movie or TV show that you watched that you liked?
Besides South Park?
Besides South Park.
Last movie or TV
I've been watching South Park
This
recently.
is an unpopular opinion, but I don't like Succession very much.
You know...
I know you asked what I liked. I know that's the most recent new show that I saw, like, quite a few episodes of at this point, just from it being on. Because I think you've been watching it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen more of it than I have, but it's like, man, every time I try to actually get into it, and sometimes I get into it a little bit. Like, I'll finish a couple episodes here and there, but it's not that good. I don't get why everyone thinks it's so great.
Yeah, well, the one thing I do
It's a
like
bunch
about
of people just that are rich just complaining. The one thing you do like about it, what?
The one thing I do like about it is that it just kind of humanizes people who are billionaires. Like, one thing I also like about Elon Musk, even though there's a lot of things that I don't like about him, is that he seems so approachable and human in a way, and unhuman in some forms, but like he just seems like he's just an average guy that has a lot of money, and so he just plays with stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's what I like about Succession, is that it makes these people seem like they're just like everybody else, just with billions of dollars.
It's just every scene is just them like trying to make a deal or talking, and I feel like the dialogue is just trying to sound clever and smart the whole time, and it's like kind of the same shit in every episode that I've seen.
Well, I think season 1 and 2 are a little boring, but once you get into season 3 and 4, it starts really catching on and really getting good. Granted, there are some like cutthroat scenes that are just a little unnecessary, and there's some boring parts to it, but the fact that everybody's just trying to become successful and gain power and try and become better as people in some form is in the eyes of their peers, I find interesting. Because I feel like that's a very human experience. I feel like we're all susceptible to those sins, and once we catch that sense of power or achievement, we all have that tendency to try and gain traction from it and move on to the next thing. And I think that's what I love about it. And I also love Karen Culkin. I think he's a really good supportive cast member that really moves the story forward.
Yeah, to me they all just seem like pieces of shit, kind of. But
oh yeah, I think every human being is a piece of shit in some form or fashion.
Maybe, but it's like that's why I'm just. It's not that. That's not why I don't like the show. But it's like I don't care I just don't care about the characters that much.
Yeah.
They're like rich to begin with, and they're just trying to take over the company. Like, good, okay, cool.
But who's going to take over the company once the dad dies?
Probably none of them.
Probably, maybe. I'm
I'll
still going to
watch
watch and find out.
Maybe I'll figure it out or watch more and decide more if I like it. I don't watch a lot of I guess I do. I mean, I watch shows and stuff, but a lot of this I like watching like creators on YouTube, like different producer guys that are making like beats and stuff, or I don't know, just different video game related stuff. And then I'll watch like Hell's Kitchen or some older shows sometimes. Like I liked the newer one actually that I liked was the Top Gear Grand Tour World. It was just called Grand Tour. It was on Amazon Prime, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mostly try to play a video game or like watch YouTube lately.
Right.
But I like movies. I like TV shows too. There's one on Netflix called Is It Cake? And then you find out if it's cake or not. That show is awesome, actually, because these people make cakes that look exactly like the real object, and then there's like a panel of like celebrity judges that have to pick like which one. They put all these podiums with the real item. Like, let's say it's a purse. They have a podium with purses on them, and then they have a podium with the cake on it, but they're all together, and then the judges have to figure out which one's cake and which one's not, and if they get it wrong, the contestant like keeps going, and if they get it right, then the contestant loses. So they have to try to make the most realistic cake possible. I don't know, just stuff like that is kind of cool. But I don't know, I like a lot of different things, but I feel like a better use of my time sometimes is like I want to get into a video game or something more interactive. But Kristen stepped out for a minute here.
You don't have to announce that. I'll be right back.
I just announce it so that way I don't have to edit that all out.
All it is.
So there's just silence.
Like, I would rather you edit out silence than edit out Kristen stepped out for a second.
I'm not going to edit it out.
That's annoying.
Well, like, it's crazy that you step out that often.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
To be honest.
It's an hour podcast. You can't just chill for a minute.
Well, because...
Get it together.
Sometimes it's hard to get a word in edgewise with you.
Yeah, you've been doing the same thing to me. If you listen back to the podcast,
that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. But that's only because if you go on a rant for so long, I do end up losing interest, and I no longer pay attention.
That doesn't explain why you leave the room every 5 minutes.
I leave the room so I can go do something while you go on your rant, so I don't interrupt your rant.
Okay.
Because it's not just me listening; it's the whole audience. So, anyways, I think the latest show I've been watching is South Park, and then I've been also watching Succession. I think Succession is a good show. The only problem I have with it is the cuts in the editing process, like the zoom in and the zoom out in the different scenes in the show. I feel that to be annoying. Brandon stepped out of the room, but I feel like it was just to prove a point.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was thinking about what my next rant was going to be, because that's what I do.
Well,
I just rant constantly.
I ask you a question to start a dialogue, and what ends up happening is you go on a rant, and then it becomes more of a monologue.
What happens.
But hear me out.
No.
Hear me out.
Because I'm going to correct, before you spread it, misinformation.
This is my opinion.
Well, your opinion
just giving you
is
my
wrong.
Opinion. My opinion is wrong.
Yes. Because...
Well, it's up to the audience to really to figure that out.
I'll answer your question, and you get bored, and you can't listen.
Either that, or you say something that I get really excited about, and then you'll, like, change the subject before I'm able to talk about that thing that you talked about.
It happens all the time to everyone. That's part of just, like, talking to people.
For you, because that happens to you all the time, because you'll get into a conversation about something.
No, you're not.
And then you'll bring up something. Well, hear me out.
You're saying it happens to me too. Like how you feel like about that when you get excited. Like that happens to me too. It happens to everyone. That's all I'm trying to say. Like you think it only happens when you're talking to me.
It happens to you very frequently. And no, when I have a conversation with other people, it does not happen as often.
I'm confused.
What ends up happening when we conversate, you and I, is that I'll ask you a question about something, and then you'll go on a rant about it, which is great. But then you'll bring up something in the middle of that rant that I'm really excited about and that I want to interject to say, and then you don't pause, or you do pause in order for me to get into that conversation, and then when I start to talk about that thing, you'll go on to something else.
Do you talk to that many people? Because, like, honestly,
I don't talk to them.
When you're talking to someone and there's something, you got to wait for them to be, you can't just be like, I'm excited, I'm going to interrupt. And the rants I go on are like less than a few minutes. It's not even, true. I'm not sitting here for going on and on and on. I think part of it is maybe a little of both, like your attention span, and maybe I do like I go on a tangent, but it's not that like.
It is a mixture of both, I think, because I do have to, in order for me to be involved in the conversation, I have to be engaged. If I'm not engaged, then I drift off. Well, that's just because I have pretty significant ADD and ADHD.
Dude, everybody's got ADD.
I was diagnosed with it at 5, dude. I was on Ritalin in kindergarten.
At 5? See, what if that's just somebody who was wrong? I'm not saying they were. But I'm just saying, like, it is crazy how much people like, I got diagnosed with ADD at 5, and then every time someone talks, then they just say they have ADD instead of listening.
I don't tell everybody.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be like, you do this, but I do think that happens, though. I mean, or they need to be on a ton of medication and drugs.
I don't believe in medication for ADD and ADHD, and for me personally, I can only talk for myself. I can only speak for myself.
Same.
I don't believe that medication is beneficial for people with ADD and ADHD. I feel like it's something that you have to learn to cope with, because you don't want to be on those medications for the rest of your life. And so in order to no longer have to be on those medications, you can learn how to do things while talking or while you're listening to a lecture or something like that in order to stay into the conversation.
I think it kills what makes you unique, kind of, sometimes. If you are that way and your brain works a different way, like instead of celebrating it, we're trying to make you like more productive to fit into American society. But you could be like you could have really great song ideas or be a great artist or something else. And then you're just taking, and it's all about the pharmaceutical companies making money at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lot of it I do think has to do with the fact that pharmaceutical companies are making money at the end of the day. Because like there is a study that has been done that shows that kids that took ADD medication and ADHD medication, i.e. Adderall and Ritalin, they ended up in their teenage years being developed bipolar and other emotional disorders. Not BLM.
Well, nobody. It's like you can't.
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, because you aren't allowed to just feel uncomfortable. You have to like go and take a pill to fix everything, and there's no pill that will fix everything. They tell you that this is an antidepressant. But it's like everyone's brain chemistry is different. And then that's why there's so many different ones. And then there's new ones. This one's the best one.
I say that, though, but I don't really know what it's like to have a child with ADD and ADHD. Like, to some degree, I can understand why my parents put it on or gave me this medication, because they didn't know how to cope with me unable to cope with what's going on around me, and they're just following what doctors have said and recommended for me.
For sure. I'm not saying like, yeah, that's the thing. And everyone's situation is different, and I'm sure like they're not like, just give her a pill. Like, you know, they're trying to like actually help. And if the medication if you are on medication, if it's helping you, then like by all means, you know, especially if your insurance covers it and stuff, then you can afford to keep taking it. But it does suck. Like, I mean, and then the people that say like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be on medication, they're always like drinking or like smoking or something. Right. It's always funny. It's like you're literally on a medication. If you think about it, you're on some kind of drug. As a human, you just are on some, you know, like the foods you eat, the chemicals in those affect your body and your brain chemistry too. Right. You're just by nature like a biological. You're addicted to food. You're addicted to sleeping. You're just everyone's kind of an addictive thing, being. Not so much addiction in the sense that like you're, you know, an addict, but like addict behavior where you're doing like stealing shit to like pay for your addiction or something. But
I mean,
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we could wrap it up right there. It's been about an hour.
No, I enjoy talking. I want to
Me too.
talk more.
No, I do too.
We don't talk to each other that often, believe it or not.
I feel like we do.
We do not.
I'm trying to just say like we never talk, but literally every day we hang out and play with Dean together and talk.
Well, that's different. Hanging out with Dean together is different than you and I talking as adults versus talking as parents.
Well, it seems like usually you just get upset with me, so I just kind of like leave you to your own devices.
That's fair.
And sometimes I want to do things that you don't like doing, like playing a game or watching a certain thing. And to be honest too, you're very standoffish lately with your TikTok world. You're always on TikTok on your phone.
I am always.
And you're not the only one. Like everybody is, you know.
Right.
And I mean I am sometimes too, but I really honestly don't do it very often. I mean not to that extent, but I do other things that are similar. So, you know, like a video game, you could argue isn't great either, but I think video games are actually good for you in some ways, and I don't think TikTok's all bad either.
TikTok,
but I'm saying like I try to talk. I try to be.
TikTok is the devil for me. It is the most addictive thing that I'm doing currently, besides vaping. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't mean to talk about it in every episode, but ever since the breakup, I've just been in shambles. I've just been deteriorating emotionally and mentally. Like, all I do is just sit on my ass all day and fucking watch TikTok while there's another show going on. And it's only because TikTok is so good at being able to capture my attention better than anything around me. Like, good.
Yeah, definitely. That's like definitely true. The algorithms that it uses to like, it knows what you are staying on, what videos you're staying on, and then it keeps giving you more of those, and they're quick, and if you don't like it, you just scroll really quick, and then it's instantly next one that's totally new, different.
I'm on TERF TikTok right now, and if you don't know what TERF is, I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it's basically women that are against trans. And I don't even want to be on TERF TikTok. It just, every day for about,
what it is, though? Sorry to interrupt. I did interrupt that time. But, so, that's because you'll watch one of the videos, because even though you disagree with it, you're like, you can't believe that these people are, like, for real. And so you'll sit there and watch and comment on it. Especially if you comment on it, the algorithm's like, oh, shit.
Right. That's what ends up happening.
And then you're gonna watch,
comment on it, and then next thing you know, I'll get another Turk video,
and then you're like, oh shit, this is interesting too. Even though you don't have to agree with it for it to be like engaging.
No, I don't, and then it just angers me about how transphobic so many people are and stuff like that. And like I watch Matt Walsh videos all the time. I'm like, why am I watching Matt Walsh videos?
I don't know who that is.
It's this guy who's really against the trans movement.
Like the don't say gay thing.
No, I haven't heard him say anything specifically about gay people. It's about trans people. Only trans that he seems to be against. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I'll end up watching, like, him getting into an argument about somebody who is at one of his attendance type situations, and he'll give a speech, and then there's a Q&A at the end, and then somebody who just wants to talk to him about their experience, he'll shut him down and stuff like that. Like, but he doesn't talk to leaders of the trans movement and stuff like that. I don't ever see him talk to leaders of the trans movement. So it's really it's quite interesting to see that evolve and how it evolves in American society. But at the same time, like, I'd much rather watch nonsensical, stupid Vine-like videos over watching, like, different people's opinions on the trans movement and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because no one really it seems like nobody uses, like, you can just search on TikTok for things. Mm-hmm. I feel like nobody does that. They just go to the homepage and then...
Oh, yeah, the For You page.
You give it enough time, your For You page will start being, like, super interesting.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. You can always change it. I think you might be able to reset it too.
Oh, I killed a mouse.
The mouse. Oh yeah, the mouse trap we had set. There was a mouse.
Yeah.
Got him.
I got him.
Sorry, PETA.
You know what? You know what my belief is?
That all mice should die, apparently. You're evil.
No, I don't.
I'm just kidding.
I might be evil. But I honestly think that all living beings have a right to live. Because we all had to go through the experiences that we all had to experience to be able to live on this earth. But, hence why I don't kill spiders or ants or anything like that. But if your existence is inflicting my existence in a negative way, significant enough to where it will be detrimental to my existence, you're gonna have to die.
That's why I run over cyclists in my car when I see them.
Cyclists?
Yeah, they're in my way.
What species is a cyclist?
I don't know. Some subhuman thing. They're a cryptid, I think.
No, they're not a cryptid because they're all over the fucking place.
You're right. Like they're definitely real. Like I've seen them.
You know, Fort Wayne, I gotta tell you, Fort Wayne is so much more assertive when it comes to driving around pedestrians and cyclists. Like, if you go to, like, Colorado or Illinois or anything like that, you really have to give them the right of way every single time, even if it's...
should. I mean, I honestly, I like riding my bike, and I have nothing actually against cyclists, but I thought it was funny. But at the same time, the other day, man, I was driving downtown, and somebody was just in the right... There's a sidewalk, too, that was perfectly clear of people. There's no people.
Well, cyclists aren't supposed to be on the sidewalk.
I don't know, man. I go on the sidewalks.
No, legally, they're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. They're supposed to be on the street.
I illegally just go because I'm like, I don't want to be in the road. I feel unsafe, even though I know I'm supposed to have the right of way. But, like, all I'm saying was this guy was, like, slowing up traffic, and then people were, like, going around the left lane, passing him and stuff, and it's just creates a dangerous situation sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree with you. I feel like sometimes cyclists are dangerous on the road. But like I said, like, Fort Wayne is so assertive about that. Like, cyclists have to really pay attention to the surroundings because motor vehiclists do not give a shit. They will run you down.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Right.
Or, like, but sometimes you just don't see them. Like, they put that sidewalk... You can ride on some sidewalks, I think. And they have bike paths, too, downtown now, but I'm pretty sure you
Bike
can ride
paths are so dangerous, though, here in Fort Wayne. In my opinion, depending on the bike path. Like, if you go down, like, Edgewood by Columbia and stuff like that, like, it's not so bad. But if you, like, go downtown and, like, someone's trying to parallel park, you really need to be on the sidewalk. You cannot be on the bike path because somebody might actually hit you because they're so focused on trying to parallel park that they'll not focus on the fact that you're riding beside them.
Yeah. And not to mention the places where you park your bike are literally like on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ride. I mean, what are you going to do? Like get off and walk over? I guess you could do that. I don't know. I know what you mean though. I think because it's illegal sometimes because, you know, you have a crowded sidewalk and then a cyclist could like hit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't think you'd ever actually get a ticket for it unless you're really causing trouble, but who knows? I just feel safer on the sidewalks, even the crappier sidewalks that are all jagged and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather, like, I'll go on the road a little bit, but if there's a lot of traffic, it's like not my thing. But anyway, yeah, I'm hoping to do more of that this summer.
Riding your bike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like a really good question, too. Is like, if I have the pull behind, I don't know what you call it, but the thing, with the
Dane in
babies,
it, I definitely don't want to go on the road with that. Well, I mean, a little bit. You kind of have to, but not as much, like as little as possible, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's another good point. Is like every time I ride my bike on the sidewalk, I don't get a ticket from a police officer.
I don't know if that is even 100. I don't know what the rules are on that in Fort Wayne, but
yeah, I just know in other areas.
I know you
typically.
And you can't. I mean, you can ride your bike in the road. But then you become a vehicle, and people are supposed to treat it like a vehicle. But you can also be a pedestrian on a bike too if you're like.
You have the right of way.
It just depends. Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated.
It's so crazy to me that, like, you know, when you go anywhere else in the places that I've been in the country, if you're riding your bike, that person has the right of way automatically. Like, does not matter if they are running a red light or whatever. Like, you need to abide by what they're doing. But here in Fort Wayne, we're so aggressive in driving that we don't give a shit whether or not they have the right of way or not. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna make a right turn, whether or not they're gonna keep going, and they need to slow down for me.
A lot of bad drivers out there.
Oh yeah, so many people run red lights here. It's insane. It's so insane. Like, I've never lived somewhere where there's so many people that run red lights. I think it's because there's not enough cameras.
I don't want more. I think it's because there's a lot of red lights that just turn, and then there's hardly any cars around.
Oh yeah, the one that's on Coldwater and Coliseum, the left-hand turn signal is literally, I bullshit you not, is literally 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
The green light for that.
Yeah.
So I don't blame people running that red light. Because
people just are all only care about themselves a lot of times. I got to get where I'm going.
A lot of the times.
Well, look, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to wrap this up if that's okay with you. Plus, it's been a little over an hour, so that's a pretty good little session.
Yeah.
I hope it was entertaining to listen to. As much fun to listen to as it was to talk.
Yeah, I didn't make a whole lot of jokes. I just wanted to talk about some things because there were some things on my mind recently.
Yeah, it's okay to be serious sometimes. But yeah.
I am serious about those chips, though.
Yeah, I'll get those. I'll go get you all the chips.
You don't have to get the chips. I just want you to keep in mind.
You know, you could even order them on Amazon or something and just have
with
them.
Dip comes chips. You know.
Not for me. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your evening or morning or day. We love ya. Bye.